Welcome everybody to the third and final installment of the prediction shows for this evening, main events edition. What a fight we've got coming up on PBC on Prime Saturday night, T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas. Big fight feel. Grudge match, Benavidez versus Morrell. WBA regular light heavyweight championship on the line, I believe. I think Morrell currently holds that. David Benavidez, I think he has the WBC into it. Anyway, put it this way, the winner's going to be in line to face the winner of February 22nd's main event in Riyadh, aren't they? If Beterbiev continues to fight, I think it's safe to say that Dmitry Bivol will continue to fight after Feb 22nd. Either way, boys, I've been watching a few of the build-up shows of had the behind-the-scenes cameras going. I cannot wait for this. We saw the press conferences, we saw the pushing, the shoving. There's a lot at stake here, and for me, like I said previously, I think this is the best fight of 2025 so far from what we've had. Both guys, I can see a path to victory for both of them. Morrell, I commend him for taking the fight. I commend Benavidez for taking it as well, but Morrell has only had, I think this is his 11th or 12th pro fight. Benavidez, we've known about him for a while. We've seen his talent. You know, he's faced and beat Caleb Plant, Demetrius Andrade. Had a good debut against Vosdik last time out of 175. So yeah, brilliant fight. How'd you both see things?
I mean, it's really even for me. I know Morrell has less fights and he's less experienced in the pro ranks. I read a PBC article on them when I was doing a little bit of research just in the build up to the show, and they broke it down into like skill set, speed, athleticism, power, chin, stamina, and then they did an AI prediction. And I was reading through them, and they are very, very evenly matched. Other than records, they're pretty evenly matched. I think, for me, Morrell's a better pure boxer. He has that Cuban style. He's got more precision. He's a lot more precise. Benavidez, sort of, his offense is in waves. He sort of overwhelms people. He's relentless. He keeps going. Whereas Morrell will throw in clusters, then he'll move out, use his footwork to navigate his way in, score, and out. Benavidez sits in front of you and just beats the brakes off people. He's technical, you know, but his offense is a lot more consistent. I think David Benavidez is quicker. He's a lot faster, it seems, than Morrell, and I think Morrell's chin's untested. We've seen Benavidez get clapped several times on the chin, and it's not really bothered him. Yeah. Morrell's not really been whacked. Obviously, I'm not being flippant because obviously the boxing, so he's obviously been whacked before. What I'm saying is he hasn't been hit at the top level by somebody that can punch, but he has the harder punch for me. So I think he's banking on his punch getting him out of trouble. Because I think he has got one punch knockout power. Benavidez, I don't think, has one punch knockout power. A lot of his stoppages are an accumulation of damage. Yeah. I think Morrell is the harder hitter, but again, he's not tested at this level. I think Benavidez will take him to places he's never been before, and his lack of experience, I think, for me, is going to be the difference between them both. I think they're very evenly matched. I think. But it's going to be Benavidez's experience and seasoning. It's potentially too soon for Morrell. I was surprised they took it straight away.
Yeah, they clearly fancy the job,
don't they? And I think they're hoping that, you know, they catch Benavidez with one eye on Canelo or maybe the light heavyweights, maybe, and they're hoping that he can just get him out of there, you know, flatline him, which I could see. But as I've said, Benavidez' chin's been checked a few times, and he's come through with flying colours. I want to see what Morrell's like when he's got someone in front of him that doesn't necessarily go from the first wave of attacks. Somebody that's potentially as strong, somebody that can cut off, because Benavidez' ring IQ, I think, is underestimated as well, or undervalued, or underappreciated. I think he's really clever. It's one of them fights, man. It's a toss of a coin, but for me, I think Benavidez edges it on experience more than skill set. I think it's his acumen and his ring craftsmanship that'll get him through this fight. Sorry, yeah finished.
It's a flipping outstanding main event, and you've got to give props to both men. David Benavidez, if you are to believe what's to come from him in 2025, does not need to be going anywhere near the likes of a David Morrell at this stage of the year when there's bigger things to come.
Yeah.
David, for Morrell, yes, okay, you picked up the WBA regular title in your last fight, so you're a world champion for what it's worth. But again, you don't need to be going near the smoke of David Benavidez, but they've both ran into the fire without giving a damn, really, and they've run towards each other. And look, like Sam said, I've watched some of the build-up stuff. There's spite in it. They both truly believe they're going to win. And for everything you've just said about we haven't seen Morrell tested as a professional yet. We don't know how his chin's going to hold up. We don't know if he's got what it takes at this stage to do it for 12 rounds if needs be against a high-skilled opponent. We will find out one way or the other on Saturday night. I don't for a second think Morrell's going to fall flat on his face. I think there is a danger that on an experience level, Benavidez is just able to show a bit more cuteness and ring smartness in a 12-round sense and take himself to another level. But there's no question in Morrell's skill set. He's an outstanding boxer, as we saw on the Crawford Madrimov card, where he boxed his way to the title. He hurt his opponent early, realised he wasn't going to get him out of there. So instead of blowing his gas tank, he put on a boxing clinic to get the decision over 12 rounds. That was highly impressive.
Kalajic is tough as well.
Exactly. He broke down a tough opponent without ever really looking in too much danger himself. I lean towards David Morrell in this fight. And I said this to you, Sam, the other week. I just think there comes Benavidez is an outstanding fighter. And if he loses to David Morrell, it doesn't mean he can't beat some of the top boys at 175 or even 168. But David Morrell just gives me that impression that everything he's done so far, he's been holding something back until he really needs to show it. And on Saturday night, if he doesn't give 100% and show it all, he'll come up short against Benavidez because we know Benavidez is the long-term perennial bridesmaid that just can't seem to get over that final hump and get their big day with all the flowers. That is what he is. But Morrell has all the skills in the world. And for me, Saturday night is where he shows it. And it wouldn't be an upset to people that know boxing, but on the outside looking in, Morrell winning will be an upset on Saturday night. Yeah. So that's what I'm picking, David Morrell.
I'm going to go with Benavidez to win in a razor-thin fight. I think it's they're going to be close to the it's going to go the distance. I think I don't see a stoppage either side coming in. I think Benavidez could win a 7-5. Potential for a Jay's Fight Talk draw as well.
You haven't let me you stole me thunder, man. That was my fucking prediction. Why would you do that to me, man?
Go on.
Jesus. Yeah, I'm picking a draw. Originally, I thought Benavidez late stoppage or unanimous decision, but the more I've looked into it, I could see Benavidez sort of starting to get comfortable and then getting caught and getting knocked down. I think there's going to be something like that. I think there's going to be a controversy. Not so much a robbery, but I think controversy. I think Morrell's going to be losing the fight and get himself back into the fight with maybe a knockdown or two. And that's where we're going to see a draw. I'm going for a draw rematch September 2025.
Love it. So one for Morrell, one for Benavidez, and a draw. That pretty much shows you how good
that's
a fight
how even it is.
It is,
that's how even this fight is. 50-50. But these are the fights we want to see. We're praising these guys for taking these fights. This is what boxers say they're about. These are what fighters say they're about. Yeah. They're not all about it. A lot of them, it's a business, and they will let their team. I mean, I'm sick of hearing fighters say, "Oh, talk to me, team. Talk to me." Listen, you're the person who ultimately makes the decision. I know you've got teams to negotiate deals and this and this and this. If a fighter doesn't get a fight, to turn around and say my team did this is an excuse. And these two have just said, we'll fight each other. We want to fight each other. Tell us where, tell us when, tell us how much. We'll see you there. Yeah. And that's what you've got to love about it. Pair of them, they're not bothered. They're going to let it all go down to the wire on Saturday night, and we'll find out who the best man is at 168.
Sorry, mate. It's the attitude, isn't it? It's the attitude you want to see from two fighters at the top. They could easily circumnavigate and avoid each other, but they've gone running towards each other. And your prediction for your draw, where you said Benavidez ahead, gets comfortable, possibly gets knocked down, it wouldn't surprise me if after 6, Morrell is 4-2, 5-1 down, and he comes back and he gets a stoppage in the second half of the fight. I think he catches.
He's got the power, hasn't he? his powers. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not saying
right.
it's underrated, but he's got one punch knockout power. Benavidez hasn't got that.
No, I'm going round number 10 for the stoppage. I think he'll be behind on the cards. And there's just something that tells me Benavidez. We've seen Benavidez switch off in
10-0
fights
down?
before.
Is it going to be 10-0 down? We're going to see another.
No, I'm not going to go that far, mate. But I think we've seen it before. Benavidez switches off in fights. He gets so far ahead and he just cruises. You can't cruise against Morrell because Morrell will be in every single round, even if he's losing them. And he has that one thing that can turn a fight around, which is dynamite power.
And think about the aftermath of a Benavidez win. It's the same as every Benavidez win. He wants the Canelo fight. Canelo's ducking him, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah.
If Morrell wins this fight, just think of the fights that he will have made for him if he wins this. Do you understand? That it's next level for him. He'll fight anyone at 168. He can fight anyone at 175. A new star is born. And especially to beat Benavidez, who everybody said is the man. Canelo won't fight him because he's scared. Nobody wants to fight him because he's scared. For Morrell to beat him, wow. He becomes the top dog by default for me. I'm really excited. This is a super middleweight fight. I was talking to David Hinkin last week about boxing and my generation, and obviously we know I'm a lot older than you. Super middleweight was the division when I was a teenager coming through. Super middleweight's lost that for me. It's not the premier division anymore. It's not what it was. And if these two have this could end up being a trilogy. We could see these guys linked to each other for the next 4 or 5 years. Or, you know, Morrell wins and goes on to mega stardom. It's just got so many tangibles. It's really exciting.
Although they've both been at super middle for most of their career, mate. It's at light heavy. It's at 175.
Yeah, I know, but they're both super middleweights, aren't they? Let's be real. They fight at 175, but the super middleweights, they can both still make 168.
Yeah, potentially.
And just
Morrell
one more.
can.
Yeah, just one more thing. We'll talk about Morrell and the position he's in if he wins it. You tell you what else helps him with the position? He's on a one-fight retainer with PBC. So his last fight on the Riyadh season card wasn't with PBC. He was a free agent that moved onto that card. I think he was actually classed as a matchroom fighter for that card. So he can move around. He wins this fight. He's not going to be tied to PBC and
do what he wants. Eddie will want him.
Can do what he wants. And that's the best position to be in.
What this proves is that, you know, they're moving up to 175. 168 is just getting glossed over. It's not the division that it was.
Stagnated.
But for me, these are the two best 168s. I know they're not fighting at 168, but Benavidez moved up to try chase Canelo. Morrell it looks like he could make 160. I know he couldn't, but a star is born. If he wins on Sunday morning, late Saturday night, Sunday morning, a star is born.
Yeah,
it's,
love it.
You know, to the moon and back.
Love it. We'll definitely be there watching it. Everyone, so please join us in the early hours of Sunday morning. Benavidez versus Morrell from Las Vegas. We'll probably cover a little bit the undercard as well. You got Fulton against Figueroa, the rematch. Isaac Cruz against Fierro as well. Pitbull Cruz. So there's a good card for me. It's the best card of the year so far, undoubtedly. That goes down to fair play to PBC. That'll be until February the 22nd hits, obviously. But so far as to what we've seen, it definitely is the best. So thanks to Jay, thanks to Liam. We'll see you guys throughout the week for much more. And thanks for watching, guys.